What is up, everybody? Welcome into this Thursday episode of Flippin Bats, where things are getting crazy down the stretch. We got about 10 games to go, and the AL West is up for grabs for 3 different teams, and it's absolute madness right now. And the only thing crazier might be the NL wildcard race. So we'll talk about all of those races. We're going to discuss Spencer Strider and the path that he is on so far in his career. The Twins and their chances in the playoffs. We got a good honesty hour today about the MLB playoffs. I'm passionate about this one. We got some fan questions at the end. Adam Wainwright getting his 200th win. There's a lot to discuss today. Let's get to it.
Fly ball onto the track, at the wall, it's gone! Home run!
Turns on a ball, deep right field, and gone!
What a game, what a moment. What is up, my friends? Happy Thursday, everybody. I am joined as always. No, not as always. She's back.
I've been gone all week.
Alex
Did you just
Curry
think I was here? My presence was just so strong. It was just looking over your shoulder the whole time.
I just get in such a zone, locked in, saying the same things that I am joined again by Alex Curry. I'm glad you are feeling better.
Oh, me too, man.
Welcome back. Alex, I have to ask, do you remember?
Do I remember what?
The 21st night of September.
What?
Happy 21st of September.
I was like, what'd I do? What, did I say something before I left? I don't remember.
No.
All right. That was okay. I was like, what? Do I ever know what day of the week it is? What date it is? No, but that was a funny one.
Thank you.
Good
Welcome
job.
back.
Good job. Thank you.
Welcome back.
Happy to be back. Also, a nice 24 hours for your Detroit Tigers.
Yeah.
Beaten LA last night. Hired their new GM this morning.
World Series champs coming soon.
Things are looking up.
Things are looking up. I'm excited about the direction that the Tigers are going in. I liked the Scott Harris hire a couple, or I think it was last offseason. The Scott Harris hire as the president of baseball ops, and now Jeff Greenberg is the new GM in-house for the Detroit Tigers, and they're just starting to make the right hires. I'm excited. He's comes from the Cubs and the Blackhawks, actually. Yeah. So like a hockey and baseball sort of background. The 20th GM in club history, Jeff Greenberg. I'm excited about it.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Scott Harris, Jeff Greenberg. They're turning it all around. Scott Harris, Jeff Greenberg, Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, Kerry Carpenter.
What did you just a moment ago say? World Series champ
Coming
Detroit
soon.
Tigers.
Coming soon.
Do you have a date? Are you giving us like a window? Because you said within 5 years for Orioles.
I think I've said
mix in the Tigers.
I think I've said within 5 years, like 8 different teams are going to win the World Series.
Yeah.
But the Tigers are definitely on that list, that short list of 8.
Dream big, buddy, Ben.
I would say,
big.
what are we? It's 2023. It's the 21st night of September.
You literally had me in sweats there for a moment. I was like, what did I forget?
I'm going to say the Detroit Tigers win the World Series in 2026.
I knew you were going to say that.
2026.
Okay.
Yep.
23, 24, 25, 3 years?
Yes.
Whoa.
Well, yeah.
Before the Orioles?
No.
Oh, okay.
Orioles will get one in the next couple of years.
All right.
8 teams will win the World Series in the next 5 years. That might be the hottest take of them all.
That will be a hot take. You know what else is a hot take?
What?
I think whatever team Shohei Ohtani ends up on will have World Series chances. And he had a successful...
That's not a hot take.
Maybe. I mean, it didn't happen.
Well, that's true.
His last tenure with the Angels. True. But he had a successful elbow procedure on Tuesday. Took to social media, took to Instagram to share that it went well. He'll be cheering on the boys. Go Halos. Yeah. Be back next season to hit and back pitching in 2025. Why aren't they calling it Tommy John, Ben?
I don't know.
I don't know. This is my question with this whole situation.
Yeah. So Dr. Elatrosh, who did the first did the first Tommy John. And again, I can't say for 100% certainty that this was Tommy John because nobody's using the words
They're
Tommy
saying
John.
Elbow procedure.
That will keep him out from pitching until 2025. I don't know.
I mean, that sounds like Tommy John.
It
was a torn UCL, which is the procedure you get done to then come back to pitch again.
So
I don't know.
I think the wording is important. It went well.
Yep.
He'll be back hitting in 2024 he'll be ready to hit in 2024, and he'll be ready to pitch in 2025. That's the wording that's out there. Shohei took to Instagram, as you mentioned, to talk about it and to say it went well. And I just always find those. I always think it's funny. Like, and we discussed this, and I'm obviously very glad that it went well, but I can't remember anyone ever posting post-surgery and be like, yeah, had surgery today. It went awful. It was a nightmare.
You got to imagine you wake up from surgery. It was a great success. It always has to be. That's it. That's what it
Didn't
is.
see that reference coming. That was great.
I mean, that's all you can do. You were asleep. You have no idea. You're in healing mode.
They told me it went great, guys.
The fact that you woke up is a success. Went
that
great.
Is a very Alex Curry way of
You're
looking at
welcome.
things. I woke up, guys. Everything's great.
Today's going to be a great
Everything's
day.
great.
It is. I mean, that's right.
Yes.
I haven't had any major surgery, so I don't know. But like, I would think that's the fear.
I haven't. I have to get my labrum repaired. I've
What?
had a torn labrum for over a decade.
When are you doing that?
I don't know. I was supposed to do it in off-season playing, and then I just never did it. I tore it I dove for a ball in the outfield, fully outstretched, like full Superman, caught it, landed on my arm, and it popped out of the back, and I popped it back in, and it's probably popped out about 50 times in the last 10 years, and just put it right back in. And
yeah, you might want to get that fixed.
Yeah. Maybe I'll call Dr. Elatrosh and I'll say, things
probably a
went
good
great.
idea. He's the guy.
Yeah.
He is the guy. Speaking of guys, Adam Wainwright joined your brother in some rare company.
Yes. The 200 win club. I'm really glad he was able to get there because it's no shock or surprise. This hasn't been a great year for Adam Wainwright. And this is the farewell tour for him. He stuck it out 1 year extra after Yachty and Albert because I think, one, I don't think he was done wanting to pitch, but this was a big milestone to get to, the 200 win club. He was able to get there. He now joins this list of active pitchers. He's the fifth active pitcher to do it. He's at 200. Clayton Kershaw's at 209. Max Scherzer at 214. Zach Greinke at 224. And Justin Verlander at 255. Congratulations to Adam Wainwright. It was really emotional. It was really cool seeing him get that win, go back out on the field, and, the tears, the emotion was pouring out. And I know it's not the year he wanted, but this is the milestone he wanted. And this is a big
deal.
milestone.
It's a big deal.
We talk about the 300 win club. And I think we had that discussion I think it was when Justin got to 250. Like, can anybody ever get to 300 again? And I think the only outside chance of anybody with the current rules and state of baseball, the only chance of anybody getting there right now is Justin. I mean, there's a serious conversation of people coming into the league now. Will we ever see 200? Like, how often will we see that? And Adam Wainwright is the most recent to join that list, and really cool moment for sure.
It is a cool moment. And you love to see that, especially towards the end of a lot of these incredible players that we've grown up watching. Just to have a moment like that on the way out is beautiful. Yep. Albert got it last year. Now Wainwright got it this year.
Yep.
We're like 3 series away from the playoffs.
I know.
It's like, that kind of hit me last night when I was looking at all the different
You started
scenarios.
packing yet?
Oh, yeah.
You have?
Duh, I got to plan my outfits, Ben.
Alex, I will pack.
Like, my packing is like, in my closet, I have a rack where I hang everything up for the week. I've already started hanging up all of my playoff outfits.
Wow. As long as I have this bomber jacket on me, I'll be good to go.
Ben owns 2 jackets and he's going to rotate them every other day.
I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to go.
Are you going to invite me?
Sure.
You know, it's my jam.
Sure.
Let's go shopping.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna come prepared. I'm gonna bring at least one extra bomber jacket to the playoffs
and
this
a white
year.
T-shirt if we end up in the bird bath.
Bomber Ben is gonna come in hot to the playoffs for sure.
Buddy Bomber Ben.
Yeah, that's not sticking.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
We can. All right. Well, since we are like a little over a week away from the postseason, let's start our making a statement in the AL West. All right, because the AL West race is completely unpredictable right now.
Yeah, I as expected, the AL West was going to come down to the final 10 games of the season. And here we are. It has come down to the final 10 games of the season. We have the Mariners at 84-68, The Rangers are 84-68.
Yep.
And they play each other 7 times in their last 10 games. This is going to be madness. And on top of them, you have the Astros at 85-68. The Astros have played one more game than both of those teams, and they won that one extra game. So they are a half game up in the AL West. This division is madness. 10 games to go. The Astros are up a half a game. Now, this is where you start talking schedule, right? The Astros have the Royals for their next 3. You gotta sweep. You have to sweep if you're the Houston Astros. The Royals are not very good. Take care of business there. Then you play the Mariners for 3, and then the Diamondbacks is where they finish out the series. But the Rangers and Mariners, they play each other 7 times. 2 series.
Both back to like weekend series.
Yeah.
Like whoever wins these series is going to get that. I mean, again, it also depends on Houston too, but.
Yep. 3 in Texas, 4 in Seattle. And then the Astros are Royals, Mariners, Diamondbacks. This division is absolute chaos. The Astros have had a chance to run away with it for a couple weeks now, especially the week where they had the A's and the Royals, and they didn't do it. And maybe it was because they wanted this chaos for the world.
I love beautiful chaos like this, especially the last like week of a season that's going to determine who's in, who's winning the division, who's like placed in what part of the wild card. Like this is what all you could hope for down the stretch. Really meaningful baseball where these teams are playing each other. It doesn't get much better than that.
Shout out to the MLB schedule makers for the way this all shaped out, because this is awesome. It's going to be chaos down the stretch. Astros on top right now, followed by the Rangers and Mariners knotted up right there in second place. And this next week is going to be huge. So the one interesting thing about this, I think, is, you know, when the Astros were really struggling against those bad teams, the Rangers and Mariners were also really struggling, which allowed them to stay in first. They were all losing at the same time. They're not going to all. One of those teams, the Rangers and Mariners, is going to win those games.
Yeah.
So if you're the Astros, you're hoping for a split between, you know, those 7 games. You're hoping it's 4-3 in one direction, and you can just take care of business on your end. If one of those teams wins 6 of 7, they're going to win the division.
Yeah.
And that's how crazy this finish is going to be for sure.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
But this isn't the only crazy race going on. Let's move to the National League, because the NL wildcard race is even more unpredictable.
The NL wildcard race for like a month now has just been absolute chaos. And right now it is as well. You have the Diamondbacks, who are 81-72. They're in second. Well, I guess to talk this conversation, we should start at the top. The Phillies are in.
Yes.
Phillies are going to be the top wild card unless something miserable happens over the last, you know, they're 4 games up, 3 or 2.5 over the Diamondbacks, who are in second. And then behind them is where the chaos ensues. Cubs, Marlins, Reds, all battling back there. The Giants, to a degree, are they mathematically eliminated? No,
they're close,
but they're falling fast. Cubbies are currently in a spot, and then you have the Marlins a half game out and the Reds 1 game out. The Reds with a brutal loss on Wednesday, blowing a lead that would have put them in a really good spot. So we're at a point right now because there's 4 teams that are all right there neck and neck. 1 loss is like the end of this. It feels like the end of the season.
Well, it is. We're in your last 3 series of the season. Yeah. This is like do or die. You control your own destiny. You need to win to advance.
Especially those teams outside looking in. 1 loss there is brutal. So I'm going to, for sake of just assuming the Phillies are going to get in, not going to mention their remaining schedule here. But this does get interesting. The Diamondbacks, who are in second right now, have the Yankees, White Sox, and Astros. Now, they're going to be playing the Astros in the last weekend of the year.
Oof.
With the Astros needing to, that's going to be...
Both of them have it's extremely meaningful games.
So it ain't, nobody's going to be like,
no.
It's not like the Astros will have clinched then and can sit. It's going to be a full go for them. And then, if we could put that back up so I could read the remaining schedules, it is the Cubs have the Rockies, Braves, Brewers. Braves, Brewers is tough.
That's tough.
Marlins is Brewers, Mets, Pirates. So that's pretty good.
It is. And also with teams with nothing to lose who are out, your goal when you're playing is to knock that other team out.
Yeah. And then Reds have Pirates, Guardians, Cardinals. So that's fairly favorable for them.
Yeah.
And then the Giants, who I just mentioned, have Dodgers, Padres, who are playing really well, and Dodgers. By the way, Alex, Padres getting in playoffs. What do you think?
You're back on. You're
seven
back on
in a row.
bus?
Man,
You're
seven
back
in
on
a
the
row.
bus. Let's see. How far out are they?
They're
Because we didn't have it on this list right here.
No, they're not here. But all
They're
I'm
not
going to
here.
say is I canceled them.
You
this
did.
is true.
But you're eventually going to cancel everyone but one team. Okay, so they're 4.5 games back. So
4.5 back.
Giants are 3. Yeah, for the wild card.
Yes. No. Okay. Part of this is a joke, but part of it isn't, because their remaining games are against the Cardinals, the Giants, who are really struggling, and the White Sox.
So if they win,
they've won 7 in a row.
Yeah.
They could there is a path where they could win the last 9 games they have.
How heartbreaking if they do that and they're still like a half a game out of the postseason.
Well,
like that's what I feel like would happen, just because of how the Padres season has gone. They're finally kicking it and like found their groove at the end of the season. They go on a crazy win streak and it's like, yeah, half a game too late, buddies.
Or
half
if you go on a crazy
late.
win streak and you look up, it's the last series of the year. If you sweep, you could possibly get in.
Yeah.
And then you look up and realize, oh, we shut down Joe Musgrove and Yu Darvish. Hey guys, we might need you to get
That's
going
kind of
again.
a big deal.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm obviously partially joking there, but they're now playing the best baseball they have all year. They're not mathematically eliminated. They have 9 games left that are all very winnable, and the teams in front of them are all going to be beating up on each other. So we'll see. But aside from that, the NL wildcard race with the Cardinals, Cubs, Miami, and Cincinnati is going to be a lot of fun.
So you're not even thinking about the Giants.
No.
All right.
No.
I love that you're not even thinking about them. They're 3 games out, but there's hope for the Padres that are 4.5 right behind them.
That is correct. That is how that works. Absolutely. But Alex, you know why I'm not thinking about the Giants?
Why?
I'm ready to do it.
Okay.
Putting another team on the list. The San Francisco Giants. You're canceled. They're done.
Yeah.
They're out of here. I'm done. They're canceled. Are they mathematically eliminated? No, but I'm not
like
yet.
Close to a 5% chance.
5%?
I don't know. It's something around there.
Yeah, something around there. Not enough percent to make me not cancel them. That's what I'll say about that. I've watched a few of their games lately. No. You know what? That's all I have to say is they're canceled.
2.1%? 2.1% to make it into the playoffs. Okay.
Well,
I was being kind with the 5.
2.1%. I don't wait for percentages to say 0. I get real risky and say that their season is done before they're
super risky. It's a 2% chance.
Yeah. So Cardinals are done, or Cardinals have been done.
Yeah.
The Giants are done, and that leaves. I think we're I think I've canceled now half the teams in baseball.
All right.
We're at the halfway mark.
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me, but I'll trust you.
No, he said
risky.
As well.
Oh, okay, cool.
Said correct.
The voices in our head.
The voices in our
head are telling us it's correct.
Yeah.
We're not crazy. Maybe, kind of. Okay, let's move on to our next statement. Spencer Strider is on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
I mean, you'd be silly at this point after less than 2 years of Spencer Strider being in the big leagues to say that he's not on a Hall of Fame path. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous to not say that. Of course he's on a Hall of Fame path, but what does that mean, right? Like, he's not even 2 full seasons into his career. There's so much that goes into it. Has he had a great first 2 years? Of course, absolutely. Has he had a historic first 2 years? Yes, absolutely. He has 270 strikeouts this year. 270. Since 1900, the only Braves pitcher to have more strikeouts in a season is John Smoltz in 1996. Now, he's had 50 starts in his big league career. Most strikeouts through your first 50 MLB starts ever. Yu Darvish at 407, Dwight Gooden at 418, Spencer Strider at 435.
It's kind of a big deal.
That is a really big deal. He struck out at least 9 batters in 31 of his 50 starts. His 31 starts with 9+ strikeouts are the most in majors since 2022. Most strikeouts in a pitcher's first 50 starts. Again, you saw that list. That's technically since 1900. He's taken only 9 losses in his first 50 starts.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
But that also has to do with how good the Braves are. But also, when every time he goes out, he's dominating and putting his team in a position to win. Only 9 losses in 50 starts. And we talked about it last year in his first season in the big leagues. And he wasn't even a starter in the big leagues all season long. He was the fastest pitcher to 200 strikeouts in history, passing Randy Johnson. And this year, he was the fastest pitcher, passing Spencer Strider from the year prior. It has truly been an incredible start to his career. But that's what it is. It's an incredible start to a career. Is he on a Hall of Fame path? Absolutely. But you know, like you can't say like right now he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. What I can say right now is he's established himself as an elite pitcher in baseball. He's put himself on a Hall of Fame path. Absolutely. And I think he has the potential to do historic things with his strikeout numbers. And I think we're past the point in baseball where you can talk like all-time strikeouts, because like Spencer Strider would have to pitch for, by my math, approximately 47 years to get to Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
You know, I really like the direction he's on. He's great for baseball. I have Smoltz on every week, Saturday with Smoltz. Talk to him about Spencer Strider, and specifically, Alex, the comments that Smoltz made when he was on a broadcast the past week. He was on the Braves Phillies game, and he made a comment about Spencer Strider where he said Spencer Strider is so far ahead of any of us pitchers that have ever put on a Braves uniform.
Whoa.
And when I talked to Smoltz for this coming Saturday, so in a couple of days, that is one thing I asked him about, if he stands by those comments and what he meant by that. And I want to play that clip now.
The obviously identity of a pitcher is how long can you keep it up and how long can you pitch. Now, we were able to crack that code in our era. But I think the fact that he is just so dynamic and already has the ability to dominate a game, that's what makes him special. We never dominated. We found a way to have longevity and in our own way dominate over time, but never to the degree he's done. Now, here's some things he's got to learn that we had maybe a slower learning curve. It took me 3 or 4 years to say some of the things that he's been able to do. And once he learns them, I mean, he's got a chance to shatter every record that's ever been by an Atlanta Brave pitcher, and doesn't matter who it is. So that's what I meant by that comment.
John Smoltz, quote, "We never dominated. 1996, John Smoltz, 276 strikeouts.
No, they were worried about longevity. I got to say, I love that you get Smoltz in just like the most random places for his interviews.
Yep. That was his grandkid's house, his daughter. And
he's been everywhere.
He did.
Like, he just pops on wherever he is. And I love that he loves these conversations every Friday, every Saturday.
It's really cool. And it's funny you say that, because it really has become like a really cool relationship, and how much he enjoys coming on the show. And the Sports Business Journal did an article last week about Smoltz coming on the show, and how much he loves doing it, and how, you know, I've told this story before, but I grew up a huge Braves fan. So one, to have Tom Glavine and John Smoltz on in the same week is like insane. But to the relationship that has come about from him and his want to do this, and he's done shows, he's done like interviews. He's pulled off to the side of a highway and done it on his phone. He's done it literally like sitting in a golf cart. Like, he's done it in grandkids' backyards. Like, it has been really cool for sure.
Good work.
Thank you.
All right.
And good work to Spencer Strider for how good he's been.
Exactly. Well, let's keep talking about pitching for our next statement here. Blake Snell cements the NL Cy Young with 7 no-hit innings against the Rockies.
No.
Oh.
Blake Snell cemented the Cy Young Award when he dominated the Los Angeles Dodgers a week ago.
Fair.
And that's what I came on here and said, is that's when he wrapped it up. And this just continued to even more so put a stamp on his Cy Young campaign with 7 no-hit innings against the Rockies. Just dominant. And not just 7 no-hit innings. He's now at 30 straight at-bats without allowing a hit. 30 straight. So I think Blake Snell wrapped it up a week ago against the Dodgers. And I mentioned it in that show when we talked about it, but I just really, I think there was something cool about that start where the management and Bob Melvin went to him and said, hey, we'll give you a couple days. Do you want to throw against the A's? And he said, no, I want the Dodgers. And he went out there and dominated that game and dominated this game as well. Blake Snell is winning the 2023 NL Cy Young Award, and he's going to have an AL Cy Young and an NL Cy Young to his name. The only guy that was within reach was Justin Steele. Justin Steele on Wednesday pitched 3 innings and gave up 6 earned runs. So if you didn't already believe, it's time to believe. The Cy Young Award is over. It's Blake Snell's. He absolutely deserves it. He has dominated for the majority of the year. Aside from like the first month or so of the season, it has been one of the most dominant seasons you can see. The end numbers are going to be remarkable. And I'm really happy for him. This is really cool. He dominated in Tampa when he won that Cy Young Award. The way it all ended in the World Series and all of that stuff kind of was frustrating to watch, and him getting pulled out of a game that he was dominating. Then he goes to San Diego. Not great, up and down, up and down, up and down. Well, this year it was all up, and Blake Snell, Wainwright, has some of the most nasty stuff you can see and you can have to face. And he put it all together this year. And to be able to talk to him about that and get inside of his head and understand why he's having the year he's having was really cool for both of us, I think. Yeah. And I'm really happy for Blake Snell on his 2023 NL Cy Young Award.
It just kind of, you feel the frustration that Padres fans must be feeling right now to have so many incredible players individually on this team, pitching, hitting, like all around, top to bottom. You can see the greatness, obviously, here with Blake Snell continuing throughout the season to be great. And then now the Padres finally starting to figure it out towards the end of the season and looking like they should have all season. They have the pieces. And it's just, it's hard to wrap your head around as to why they weren't able to figure it out this season.
But I think I get it now. They do have the pieces, but those pieces don't know how to mesh. They don't know their roles. They don't know the table setters and the get them over and the get them in. Like, teams have that. Yeah. And when your best player in a season with that roster is Ha-Seong Kim, you have a problem. And it's not a talent problem. Yeah. It's an identity problem. Okay. And it's a problem being able to realize, okay, I don't need to be the guy that puts the team on the back. We just need to have our roles. And I think where you're hitting in that lineup matters. And Xander Bogaerts is going to be a guy, he's been playing injured for the majority of the season. And so is Machado. And yes, but that's not an excuse. Xander's going to be a guy that hits in like the 2-hole and hits for a high average. And Tati, they're all going to have their own role. I just think this year was important to them to realize you can have all the talent in the world and it ain't going to work unless you can figure out how to make it work as a team and how to have your roles. And okay, we need you on base. We need you to get guys over. We need you to drive guys in. We need you to steal bases. Those roles all matter. And it just felt like with this team all season long until right now, honestly, it was, I'm going to be the star on this team. I'm going to be the MVP, and not in like this bad way, but like they're all so competitive with each other. It's like, I want to be the guy to carry this team when they don't need that guy. They just need all of those players to be themselves, and they would be so good.
So it's almost too much star power.
It's too much star power without knowing how to hone it in and handle it. Baseball's 9 people in a lineup, 9 players, a pitcher. You can have all the stars, but there are roles on a baseball team. Yep. There are roles in a lineup, and wherever you're hitting in a lineup, it does matter. And I remember in college, my junior year, I was hitting in the 3 or 4 spot, and a couple weeks into the year, coach comes up to me and asks if I wanted to hit leadoff, and he was like, "Just know, like, it is different. We need different things from you there." So where you're hitting in a lineup matters, and all these guys, it just felt like this entire year was about figuring out their identity, and they never did until the middle to end of September, and it was too late. Yeah, maybe.
It's gonna be too. I love that you're still holding on. Keep believing, Ben. All right, we got one more statement here. Twins can make noise in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know why. Look, people are writing off the Minnesota Twins. The Twins can make noise in the playoffs. And I'm tired of hearing people think, okay, whoever gets the 6th seed in the American League is going to have a big advantage over the Minnesota Twins. I know that the Minnesota Twins haven't won a playoff series in forever. It's been forever, but this team, Joe Ryan, Pablo Lopez, Sonny Gray, let's start there.
Okay.
Let's start on the pitching side of things. That's dominant. They can dominate an offense, and they can hit. They sometimes struggle to hit, but they need their guys back, like Royce Lewis and Carlos Correa, who are currently they're currently hurt.
Does that concern you that they're currently on the IL?
Carlos Correa, his entire body concerns me.
Well, yeah, and the fact that you're on the IL towards the end of the season, that means you're going to have to get your timing back once the postseason starts, and getting your timing back takes. Yeah,
it hasn't been a great year. But what have I been saying about Carlos Correa all year? Come October, the guy does show up.
Okay, so coming off the IL, you think he's gonna?
I would bet on it. That guy's a different breed in the playoffs. It's unbelievable. But again, they have offensive issues, and it's not good to have Correa and Royce Lewis both down. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to win the division. Their magic number is 1. Right?
Yeah.
I
think I just saw a graphic on the screen.
They're winning the AL Central, right? So Carlos Correa going down. He came out of the game the other day with his plantar fasciitis, and he's on the IL 10 days. Guess what? There's 10 days left in the season. Like, they're just like giving him this break leading into the playoffs and hoping to have him healthy. Yes, timing is a factor here. Royce Lewis being out is also a concern. He's been huge for them. The guy's hit like 18 grand slams in the last 18 games.
Do we know, is it like the most grand slams in like a condensed time? It's gotta be. There's got to be like something like that,
I think it was 3 grand slams in 18 games, which I don't know if that's Fernando Tatis Sr. hit 2 grand slams in one
the same inning. Yeah. And then Tatis Jr. on that anniversary hit 2 home runs at Dodger Stadium, like same day.
So 3 and 8. I mean, I don't know if it's like all time, but here we go.
Yeah.
Sarah Langs, of course, she has it. Shortest span of games in which a player hit 4+ grand slams. So it's 4 in 18
I was going to say, because I think it was 3 in like 8 days. 8 games.
So he's by far the most.
Yeah.
Royce Lewis in 2023, 4 grand slams in 18 games. Don Mattingly is second in 39 games.
In 87.
So over double.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that is.
Yep. I had a feeling. I was like, I don't remember that being done before.
I mean, there's so much luck involved in coming up with the bases loaded. And then the fact that you're hitting a home run every time you are up with the bases loaded. Crazy. Can the Twins make noise? Yes. And if you think no, you are wrong. They can. Their pitching is dominant. They have a closer that throws 104 miles an hour with a 100-mile-an-hour sinker and nasty curveball. They have the pitching to do it. They can hit well enough to do it. The Twins are no cakewalk in the playoffs. They will pitch. They will be competitive, and they can make noise in the playoffs.
They just need their guys back.
Yeah, but they will be.
Okay.
They will.
All right. Time to get honest. What do you got for us for Honesty Hour?
Speaking of the playoffs, Alex, it is time for Honesty Hour. Everybody gather around, pull up a blanket, maybe turn on a little
John over there.
Turn on a little fire. Get
Please don't do that. Please don't turn on a fire.
It's time to be honest. And this week I want to talk about the MLB playoff seeding.
Okay.
MLB needs playoff reseeding. Let me explain. As it currently sits, for the division series I, for the division series, it typically works out better to be the number 2 seed. Again, let me explain further.
Okay.
Let's use the National League for reference, okay? You have the 1 seed, you have the 2 seed. The 1 seed is going to be the Atlanta Braves. The 2 seed is going to be the Los Angeles Dodgers. The winner of the first wild card seed and the second wild card seed, so the 4 and the 5, there's going to be a lot of numbers thrown out. Bear with me here. The winner of the 4 and the 5 seed goes on to play the 2 seed. The winner of the 3 and the 6 seed goes on to play the 1 seed. No, reverse that. Reverse it. Even more numbers
we need a
coming
graphic.
at you.
I'm a visual learner here,
There
and
are
I'm
graphics.
trying to follow along.
Okay. Hang with me here.
Okay.
So the 1 seed gets the 4 and the 5 wild card.
Yes.
So, for instance, the Phillies, who can absolutely beat anybody in the playoffs, they're going to be the 4 seed. And if they beat the 5 seed, they go on to play the Atlanta Braves. Now,
repeat.
The Dodgers, the 2 seed, will get the winner of the worst division, the NL Central, and the worst wild card. So I think just in theory, it's okay. Well, the Braves are going to get the 1 seed but no, the 3 seed is typically weaker than the 4 and the 5. Those are the hottest wild card teams. The 3 seed is just the 3 seed because they won the worst division. I think it should be like what football does. The seeding is all great at the beginning, but then reseed. If the Phillies as the 4 seed win in advance and the 6 seed wins, the Braves should be playing the lower seed. But that's not how it works out. It's all structured, and I just think you should have the biggest benefit as the 1 seed. And you don't in the second round. Where you do get the benefit is in the CS because you'd have home field advantage throughout, right? But if you're the Braves, you'd much rather play the 6 seed in the second round than automatically the 4 seed, like that's tough. Because oftentimes the 6 seed, we've talked about it a million times, is the hottest of them all.
Yep.
They've done the most to get in. They get in
battling
by
to the
skin
last
of their
minute.
teeth, and then they're hot, and then they beat the 3 seed, and then they go on to face the Dodgers, where the Braves are going to get the Phillies. So many numbers, so many seeds. I messed it up once, but are you with me?
I'm with you.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
We need reseeding.
Okay.
Football does it well.
It takes baseball a long time to make these changes. They are officially changing some rules, so who knows?
In the year of changes in baseball.
Yep.
It's not going to happen this year. And it's not going to happen I think that would need to be like a CBA thing.
Yeah. Maybe with the expansion.
Sometimes I get all bothered by
it's okay.
some things, not bothered. I just have ideas. I have ideas
some good ones
to make baseball better. Maybe some not. You've agreed with the majority of my honesty hours this year.
A good chunk of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And this one, even despite a lot of numbers and a quick little mess up in there, but shout out me for realizing that in the moment and taking accountability.
I'd like to thank me. I am great.
I'd like to thank
shout
me
out to
for being accountable and realizing in the moment that I needed to switch what I was saying. Honesty hour. MLB playoffs need reseeding. That's that.
All right.
Shall we head on up to the stage for some questions?
Yes, we are.
All right. Let me get my bat because I need something to hold on stage.
Ben's not good with his hands if he's not holding a bat. But I'm the same. I have an iPad, so it's my safety net.
Yes. All right. So we have some fan questions today. All right.
You ready?
I am ready.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's get started with Jay Hernandez.
Okay.
Ben, do you think that Dusty Baker constantly changing the batting lineup is affecting the Astros players' performance? Which is interesting because you just talked about this. Like every spot in the lineup has a certain role.
Yes. So where I think it does matter more so is when it comes to, like, for example, the Astros had a big game against the Orioles, and Dusty Baker did not put Yordan Alvarez in the lineup. And when asked why, he just said, well, the last 9 games are going to be more important to have him in than, like you're playing a game, you're playing the long game.
You're giving him a day.
When, like that stuff affects Yordan, obviously, but it affects like timing at the plate and stuff. It affects the rest of the lineup. You're moving guys around. So I don't, it's not like one game you have Kyle Tucker batting 2nd and another batting like 6th. That's where roles come into play. But like if Kyle Tucker's normally batting 5th or 4th and he's moving like one spot, I don't think that's a huge deal. But where I do think the lineup stuff gets frustrating for me, and Dusty Baker is a Hall of Famer and a Hall of Fame manager and just won a World Series, but I do see some head-scratching moments sometimes with the lineup. But hey, fun fact, Dusty Baker's never been known as like the best like X's and O's lineup guy. He's a vibes guy, man. He brings a locker room together. Players love playing for him. There's so much trust, and there are multiple different types of managers. Sometimes I would get frustrated with like Yainer Diaz could have been in like the AL Rookie of the Year conversation this year. Mm-hmm. Took him a while to realize that guy should be playing every day. And it still doesn't happen every single day.
Well, it's tough because it's also a pitcher's choice of who they want behind the plate.
Yeah. And then he started finding other ways to do it, like DH and, moving him around a little bit. But yeah, I do have some question marks. I don't think movement in like one spot in a lineup is big, but like if you're there are big moves, like from a 4-hole to the leadoff guy. That's where roles are different. A 2-hole guy, typically in baseball of the past, you get somebody on base, the leadoff guy, he's a speed guy. Second batter is like a get him over kind of guy. High contact, get him over, like a Derek Jeter type guy. Yeah. Now roles are like kind of thrown out the window. Kyle Schwarber is a leadoff batter. He's going to hit 1,000,000 home runs and strike out 1,000,000 times and hit like 1,000,000 singles. And then he's going to hit under 200. And he's our leadoff guy.
He's an outlier.
You could tell me Kyle Schwarber is the best leadoff hitter of all time, and I wouldn't disagree. And you could tell me he's the worst, and I wouldn't it's the wildest thing of all time. But I love it. I love watching him in the leadoff spot.
All right. Our next question comes from your boy, Seth Green. If Ben gets stressed every time Justin pitches, how would you be if he was starting Game 7 of the World Series?
Vomiting.
Yeah, for
everywhere.
sure. And we wouldn't know because he would lock himself in the suite with his family, which we never get invited to. So that's cool. That's what's going to happen.
That felt aggressive.
It was.
Got something to say? Say it.
Yeah, you never invited us into your suite, your front row seats when we were Phillies.
You want to come into my family suite with my brother on the mound in the World Series?
Yeah. I hang out with your mom and dad the whole time.
What are you going to do? Yell at the Astros?
I'll be good. I'll keep it together.
Yeah. Maybe this year. Alex, keep your phone on loud. You'll get that text. In the World Series last year, it wasn't even Game 7. It was Game
3.
3.
3 or 4.
3.
3. I think it was 3.
5.
Oh.
Yeah, because it was a big swing game. Because the Phillies won Game 3. That's the only one they won there. Justin won Game 5. I was there. Fun fact, I was there. No, I remember I was so unwell.
I know.
I was an absolute mess. And at one point, I think Kyle Schwarber hit like a leadoff homer, and I almost threw up.
Well, we also cut our pregame show short so you could sprint and be there for first pitch.
Yeah, which was a home run.
Yep.
I don't know if it was exactly first pitch, but it wasn't. It's really bad. I don't know. Justin and I have spoke about this a lot. When I was still playing, and Justin would watch on his phone or something, because he was playing at the same time. But if he would watch, he would get so nervous, and I would in reverse. But he's not nervous, and I'm not nervous playing. But when you have no control over a situation, but you love someone so much and care about them so much, and you know what a big moment it is and how hard they've worked for that and to be there, but there's nothing that you can do about it. It is, I can't properly explain how difficult it is for me and my family and anybody that, it's not just a baseball thing. It can be a life thing, but
you care.
Holy shit, man. It is so hard it really is. It's very difficult to sit there and have no control. And I don't know. I do not do well. Game 7 would not go well. Just check on Ben.
We'll have a hidden GoPro.
If it's a Game 7, check on Ben.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Don't. Just let it happen.
Yeah.
All right.
If I show up to the post-game show, that'd be a bonus.
Crying?
If
he'll just show up crying.
Curled up in a fetal position
Either
somewhere.
tears of joy or just so upset. All right, we got one more fan question here from Sean. What is the most insane travel nightmare you have had? Oh, mine was this year.
Yeah, mine was when Alex woke up one day and her flight got canceled and she couldn't get to a show. And
no, it got delayed. We boarded the flight, then delayed again. We got off the flight, and then it was rescheduled for 9 p.m. I was like, wait, what? No, that's a canceled flight right there.
I've had I've of course had delays. I've slept in airports before. I think everybody's had a bad story. But there's this funny narrative that always happens currently. This currently happens.
What?
We will have a group of people. Fun fact, if you didn't know, when Flippin Bats goes on the road, it's a lot of people. Yeah. There's a lot of people. There's a lot that goes into this. There's a good bit of people traveling, and we all have our hotels set up. But currently, we will show up to a hotel, and everybody will have their room. Everyone. Except for old Ben. Oh, you don't have a room, sir.
It's got to be someone messing with you.
Every single time.
Well, I didn't have one either. I convinced them to give me a room.
It always gets figured out. But it's like 100% of the time right now. We will show up somewhere. I'll have 8 people in front of me check in, all under the same name and the same party and Fox Sports. And I'll get up to the desk and it's like, what's your name?
Are you sure you're on the list?
I don't see it. Sorry.
I got to say another nightmare for you. We also, when we're traveling for the postseason, have like insane times that we're flying at like 2 or 3 in the morning. We all sleep on flights except Ben. Ben does not know how to sleep on a flight, so he just pulls an all-nighter when we're traveling.
Last one. The first time we traveled with Flippin Bats, I think this might have been 2 years ago, playoffs. But we get off the plane. We landed in Atlanta. It was it was when Astros Braves World Series. We get there. It was freezing cold and like raining. And I was wearing, it was however we came from. I was wearing shorts and like a little tiny like long sleeve thing. And I'm standing under the wing of the plane waiting for our bags, freezing. And I look over and Smoltz is next to me and he just looks at me and it's like 5 in the morning and he goes, "Shorts, huh? Probably the wrong choice." I was like, yeah.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
You're probably right. Thanks, John.
Yeah,
Thanks,
good
John.
times. I'm excited for more of these stories to come in a couple of weeks.
It's coming soon. Is that our final question?
That is. That's our final question.
That is our final question and the end to this Thursday show. So thank you all for listening. If you haven't, yesterday was with Tom Glavine, Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever do it, and a huge fan of his growing up. And to be able to have, as I mentioned, Tom Glavine and John Smoltz on the show in the exact same week is truly incredible. And it was one of my favorite conversations. And he told so many stories about Bobby Cox and Greg Maddux and John Smoltz and Deion Sanders.
Which is crazy. I think people forget that he was also like a great baseball player. And Deion, I sent it to you. I don't know if you commented, but he said he was asked what was the hardest thing to do in sports because he's played every sport. And he said hit a baseball. So that added to your argument a couple weeks ago that we had.
Yeah, so go back and listen to that one if you haven't yet. That was Wednesday's episode. But that does it for this Thursday episode of Flippin Bats. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you like, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever. We're also on all social media, including YouTube, where you can watch every single thing we do at Flippin Bats Pod for all. But until tomorrow, my friends, that does it. Peace.
Really gonna let me go shopping with you?